Hello, hello. We are here with Matu of Matu. His channel is called Matu.
Of Matu. In London, United Kingdom.
In London on the hottest day ever.
I'll do intro interview with Chapin. Like a little jingle. Ding jing.
I have to write a jingle for all of them.
Yeah.
But so Matu is the first stop on the Where the Wind Blows tour.
We just
June
finished
2023. We just finished streaming. It was so much fun.
Super fun. 4 hours and 20 minutes.
4 hours and 20 minutes.
4:20.
Blame it.
That's so cool. Super fun.
How are you today? How's your week been? How's your day been?
Day's been good. It's been hectic week because I've just moved. And I was fighting to make the flat look presentable for when Chapin arrived, and
it's very presentable.
It's presentable.
Look, I'm looking around, and it's fine. It's good.
Decent enough.
I can walk. I can move. I didn't have to climb over anything. I didn't have to
you see like a random yoga mat there, some random paper.
I didn't even notice you had a hearth. Do you have a fireplace?
Yeah, but no, you're not. Like it comes with a fireplace, but now you're not allowed to use it, so it's fully blocked. So there's a block.
It's aesthetic.
How do you call it? Hearth.
Hearth, yeah.
Hearth, but if you for the people who are listening, it's a bed is covering half of it. Because I'm optimizing the room of the space, so I put the bed in a corner to have the most streaming space and yoga space.
And yoga space, very important. We're talking about yoga. Matu's into yoga.
Yep, yoga with Adrian.
Yoga with Adrian, very specific. Yeah. If you're not into yoga with Adrian, join the cult.
Join the cult.
It's a great cult. It's one of the best cults I've ever joined.
It was so good for me to. It was the first thing I added in my routine that was like really healthy. And then I started with other things but yoga was the first one.
Yoga, it is life changing. It is every day, first thing you do when you wake up after I walk on, I do yoga.
You do
so I'm like warmed up, ready to go.
I love doing it before the stream. It's like if I do yoga before the stream, it's just like a different. I come to the stream so much more grounded and it's cool, more pleasant.
Good. Very good. Okay, so as you hear, Matu is a streamer. Twitch.tv/Matu MATU. Matu, how did you get onto Twitch?
I got onto Twitch. We were talking about this earlier. When I was starting to do music, I was very embarrassed about like singing in front of people. So I would go in on Omegle and sing to random people and the strangers on the internet, which was weird. But at the same time, it slowly allowed me to get a little bit more confident in my singing because people were like, "Oh, you sound great," even though I didn't. And I already knew Twitch because I used to be I've been a big gamer and played a lot of poker at the moment, and I was watching some poker streamers. But then I read and I started looking. Okay, so I started thinking, okay, live streaming might be the way. Mainly because also my songs are in English, and I was living in Argentina. There's I played a little bit live, but I felt like the disconnection between my songs being in English and I would introduce myself, everything in Spanish, and then just sing something, and people wouldn't understand it. It was a bit strange.
Gotcha.
So then, live streaming was okay, I'm gonna sing to people who understand English, and I went to best websites to stream, and there were a couple, and there was one called Crew, which was made for musicians. It was exactly streaming, but for musicians. And that one died, and then I tried it.
That's good. I've never heard of it.
And then tried one called You Now, which
I've heard of that one.
Yeah. I just heard that, but it didn't like it that much. Then started on Twitch on 2019, I think, and no, not 2019, 2018. And on the first streams, I got a big raid, and
that's great.
I was like, wow, crazy. And that kind of. But I would only stream when my brother wasn't in the flat because I was so embarrassed that I'd sing and everything. But then that happened. I was like, oh, I want to stream again because there were so many people watching. I need to do it again to keep And then I realized I could stream from my bedroom with my door closed. So that was a little bit of barrier of okay, I can stream when my brother is around.
Yeah.
So I would just sit. The setup was on my bed. I would sit cross-legged in my bed and just do a stream. And by the end of it, all my joints would be aching so much.
Yep.
And that's how I got into it. And immediately I kind of fell in love with it and knew it was oh, this is what I have to do. Especially because I was finishing my business degree. I had but the second I started streaming, it became a number one priority, and then I would do business very like lightly, you know, instead of doing 3 classes per. The curriculum has like 3 intense classes per semester, and I would do just 2, you know, and then focus mainly on Twitch and music. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started.
Yeah, your stream is such a fun place, and it's I feel like your style of streaming is like music and something else where like sometimes you just get just a music stream. So it's really fun to like interact in your community and join up into your community. But I also started a similar way. I started streaming when no one was home because I was so embarrassed.
Like
and then
secret.
Yes, it was a secret. So I told my sister because she would be home. And then I eventually had to tell everyone else. I looked at them like,
what the hell?
Just please be quiet.
But yeah, it's important to have like well, not important, but what for me was like especially in the beginning, I really wanted to like entertain, you know, as well.
Yeah, not that it's like a bad thing to just do music stream, but it's like it just comes from like your personality and what you want to bring.
Yeah, and it changes, you know. Yeah, and then I had a bit of a phase of just like, you know what, I'm done with entertaining. I just want to play music, and I feel like currently now I'm also like still figuring out how much of an entertainer I want to be and how much of like just a music, you know.
And I mean, like, as you change as a person, your stream is going to change. Like,
exactly.
It's just, it has to happen. It's natural. You can't say the same forever.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of music did you like grow up listening to? What are your like top influences? Would you say like influences and then favorites?
Yeah. Well, but it's pretty. My dad used to listen to a lot of the Beatles because we're still Nash and Young. Mainly those 2, I'd say. A little Alan Parsons Project, I remember. My mom is not very like she loves music, but she doesn't care. Like you could play her whatever genre and she'll be like happy with it. Yeah,
gotcha.
Those are my first memories, listening to the Beatles in the car or my dad singing Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. He plays the guitar a little bit, so he's the one that kind of introduced me to the guitar.
Very cool.
Then my first like real artist that I really, really liked was Jack Johnson, I think.
Of course.
Yeah, on the song list. On my song list, I have so many Jack Johnson songs. I have a big Jack Johnson phase from like 13 to 16 was only Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Then that led to Ben Howard somehow.
Oh my god, love Ben Howard.
Yeah, Ben Howard was like the one that like because Jack Johnson, I loved his music, but it never was like I want to. Never to the point where I was like, oh, imagine doing that. But then I saw like a Ben Howard video on YouTube playing Depth Over Distance and like live, and it was just like
he's such a great guitar player.
Yeah. That was like another like huge. Ben Howard was my biggest fan moment, I guess. Like Every Kingdom and I forget where we were. Those 2 albums were like the
sick albums.
I think probably what inspired my sound the most. I think is what I was enjoying the most. And then I'm trying to think. I'm definitely like we just had finished a 4-hour stream, so my mind is just like
we're a little bit fuzzy.
Fuzzy. But trying to think if I had like something big. I had John Bellion. Yeah, listened to a lot of John Bellion at the time when I was like 21. I was listening to like the Human Condition album, which was really really good. And then listened to a lot of like quite big range of stuff on Spotify. Mac Miller, the last 2 albums, Swimming and The Circles, were like one of my 2 favorite albums. To listen to.
What are you listening to lately? Anything new or anything like coming back into your rotation?
The album, well, currently Billy Martin's latest album.
Yep, we were talking about that one.
Yeah, Willow. That song is insane. Acid Tooth, those 2 songs from that album. I Need to Start a Garden from Hayley Hendrix, which is the one that you have to.
We were listening to it before the stream.
You're gonna love that album.
I'm excited. I'm always excited for new music.
No, that album is insane. So I think those 2 were my last big, which have a very similar vibe in it. So,
yeah. Very chill, very
indie, funky.
Yeah. Where do you like to hang out on Twitch? Like, what are the streams you're like? Either like background stuff that you just like love to like get into the banter while it's happening in the background, just like having a laugh, or like, listening for the music.
Currently, I like to like Kendra, you know Kendra Liza? She's someone I always like lurk because I love what she does with like.
Oh, absolutely. She's so talented. And I'll leave links for everyone in the description below.
Her voice is
unreal.
It's bad. It's bad how good it is. So that's a stream I lurk a lot. Same with Lana. She's not streaming that often. Spirit Lana.
Yeah. So folky, and like the way she plays guitar is just, it's like exactly what you need to hear. It's so nice.
Indeed. And then Bob Check. Bob Check is that's
a fun time.
Yeah, and he's someone who like we've always, since we started streaming, we've always been like hand in hand, you know, kind of just going back and forth with our communities, which has been super nice. And then something like out of the music thing I do. Currently, I'm watching a little bit. There's this guy called Summit 1G, and he's doing World of Warcraft. Yeah, so he plays World of Warcraft in hardcore mode, which is basically if you die, you lose your character, which is the craziest thing. So I always check and see how that's doing. And also this like I used to watch now, not that often, but like Miskiff, which is like a big just chatting streamer. I used to watch him a bit.
Yeah,
that would be it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Do you have? You had a recent single out. How's that been going? It's been doing well.
Yeah, well, today's Sunday, so today I have to check. I am very. I realized that like checking the numbers kills me, you know.
Yep, we were talking about this yesterday. Yeah. It's very stressful.
So I'm trying to figure out like what's the right amount to do it. Currently I'm doing like Sundays. I check. Okay, how the song's going, because ideally I think I shouldn't check in the sense of like it's out of my hands. It's a song as well, you know. But at the same time, it's nice to celebrate the joys of like, oh, it's like you know, got into this playlist or whatever, and it's nice to see. So I'm doing it once a week and seeing how that goes, because I was checking. I released two singles from the EP, that the upcoming EP.
I will put Matu's Spotify below so you can listen.
Yeah, so I just have 7 songs out at the moment. Like one old EP that I recorded before moving here. And now this EP that I recorded with Billy Martin's drummer and like tour manager, he's called Jason Odell. He no longer drums for Billy now. Amazing drummer and just amazing, like super cool time. So yeah, at the moment I released 3, and now I'm heading towards short vacation. So I don't have a date for the EP release, because I'm also like I've been gigging like by myself, you know, acoustically, and now I'm trying to like make a tiny little band for gigs with, you know, fuller setup for the EP release, but I still don't have a date for the EP release because I'm going on holidays. I'm moved to a new flat. It's been hectic as hell. But
everything seems to happen all at once, and you just jump in and get it. Yep.
And it's a shame because like you want to have the single and the EP kind of together, you know, but at the same time, because I don't even have a date yet, it's gonna have to be at least like 2 months at least.
It'll be perfect timing.
It's gonna be a good time.
It'll be perfect timing. No worries.
So yeah. And Fleece, the last single, which is like super, is the only song that has no drums, and it's like very acoustic. And it's the one I always say like I shouldn't say this because like it's not a good promo for the EP, whatever. But I feel like for production, I've been playing these songs for so long that like it's tough that when you add a production, it can go in so many directions. I'm happy with all the productions, but I feel like on Fleece, the one that we like hit the nail the most in terms of serving the song the most.
It's beautiful. He played it on stream. If you missed it, it'll be a highlight.
And yeah, it's an EP. Like I'm recording. I was telling Chapin before that I'm recording all old songs to have like a little. I want to have the project be more like cohesive and stuff. So I'm just recording all songs that I written before the pandemic, and then after that, like for me, life and like changed a lot, and it also I think shows in my writing as well. So it's like I want to have closure from this first, you know, from this first project of like music project of my life. For it to, I don't want to grab the best songs from that I'm writing now, just because it's gonna be a bit like crazy for me if I do that. Like, I think I need a bit of that closure and cohesiveness.
Totally. It just ties it all together. Let's see. I think that's kind of it. Do you want to add anything? You want to say anything? Well, I mean, like, watch
the stream
this.
was super nice.
The stream was super fun.
I'm so excited to see the other stops. I don't know how many I will catch because I
You're gonna be moving, traveling, everything.
Yeah. But I really want to see. I'm looking. I'm very excited for the Scarecrow one.
I know, me too.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for being a part of the tour. Thank you so much for letting me crash your house. I'm sorry that you're moving and I made you feel pressure.
No, it was good because I needed that. If not, I would have just slacked and it would have been a mess. But now it's like decent enough, livable.
It's livable, absolutely. He's got a wonderful place, guys. I promise. It's great.
Excited.
The floors are really creaky.
I was leaving, very creaky.
We were tuning the guitars.
Come here.
Listen. It's still pretty squeaky. We were tuning the guitars earlier, and he left his tuner open, and it was tuning the squeaks of the floor. Oh, yes, thank you so much. Everything will be in the description, so you can follow everyone Matu mentioned and follow Matu in his spaces.
And chapin as well.
And me too, yeah. Okay.